Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us across the globe. Also depending on what time you get to watch this video. So Shika hii Sigtune. How you guys doing? And by the way, notification gang, you guys are just those people. Thank you so much for watching this. Also the new subbies, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, yet you're still watching, I don't know what you're waiting for, just go ahead and click that subscribe button down below tafadhali. Like right now, siseme nita-subscribe baadaye. No, right now. Notification gang, kwanza acha niongee na nyinyi, where are you watching us from? Do let us know on the comment section. And of course, I love to interact with all of you. Now, today, wow. When it comes to championing for rights, and that includes inclusivity, then people living with disabilities have come a long way. Now, today on set, I will prove to you that disability is clearly not inability if everything you hear today is anything to go by. Now, on set, I have a very beautiful lady. She calls our community Crutchville because she will explain to us why she's beautiful. She works, by the way, an 8 to 5, ako kazi, yeah. And not just that, she's an Arsenal fan. She cannot be caged, and she unapologetically lives. And let's welcome Sauda Bashir. Hey! Mimi nasikia poa, nimecommit finally because I had seen you before. My friend, our producer, did mention about you. But ambia kwanza watu we ni nani, wasalimie.
Okay, my name is Sauda Bashir. I work for a telecommunication company. I'm a co-founder of Rare Beauty Movement. And I think I'm a bit artistic. I like doing things.
You do?
With my hands, so yeah.
Let's just start from how you ended up being, well, I don't want to sound insensitive.
Say whatever,
but
just say it. Don't be shy.
Yeah. Like what happened?
I was born in Wajir. My parents are nomads, so I have my mom, my dad, and then we are 11 kids, same mother. And when I was about 2 or 3 years, that's when I got polio. And I remember I asked this question, like, like what happened. So some tell me, like, I don't know if you believe in the evil eye.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in my culture say it's the evil eye. But I had polio, like I didn't get the vaccination. Okay. So that's what really, yeah.
Growing up, are you the only one that didn't get the polio vaccine?
Yes, actually from my family, I'm the only one who didn't get it.
Your number what? Siblings? Because the nomads tend to have many kids. That's why I'm asking.
From my mom, we are 9.
Okay.
And then my dad, he had, how do I put it? His brother's wife died, so he also took up the kids. And so it's such a big, very big family. And we're allowed to be polygamous, so.
Again,
yes.
That's true.
So, yeah.
But growing up and not seeing any other person, any other child being disabled, how was that like for you?
When I was younger, because of my disability and my parents being nomads, they took me now to a rehabilitation center. So in that rehabilitation center, there are all kids with disability. Mm-hmm. There were like 150 of us. That's what my adopted mom says. So that's where I stayed. And I can't really remember much about my family in that sense. But then when now my adopted mom, she was a doctor in that place. Yeah. So she decided to adopt 3 kids. But that was, I think, after a year, because she was now leaving Wajir to move to another place. Mm-hmm. So now she decided to adopt 3 kids. Yeah. So I was now the firstborn. Then I have a sister and a brother.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. But I want you to take us back in time, your childhood, how you grew up, where you went to school, and how everyone else perceived you. Just tell us your story.
Okay, so when my mom adopted us, okay, let me start from the rehabilitation center, yes. Right? So we were kids and we had to learn how to walk. You had to learn how to use crutches. There are kids who maybe we were in wheelchairs and stuff like that. So I remember my mom used to say I was very naughty. I was very hard-headed.
Okay.
And she said that's one of the reasons why she adopted me. Because she said, when I wanted to do something, I would do it. Like, I really wanted to walk. But then if I didn't feel like doing something, then like no one would force me to do it. Like, there's nothing you could do to change my mind, you know? So we moved from from Wajir to Meru, and I can say that's where I really started now my life. So the three of us plus my mom now, we went to private school, but then I didn't go to special school. And my brother also has a disability, but his is just one leg. My adopted. Whenever I talk about my siblings,
they're adopted.
They're adopted. So he has polio also, but he's just one leg. So he's okay. So we went to regular school. We never went to any private school. And that's the thing. Maybe because we did it from a very young age, I can't say that I was bullied or anything of that sort. And maybe it's because I used to make fun of myself. Maybe it was just a mechanism.
A coping mechanism.
A coping mechanism so that, you know, you're not bullied. But I think kids are kids. So I don't think I was really bullied. Like, you just learn, you know, kids just ask you, nini nilifanyika na mguu yako? Or what happened to you? You tell them something and they move on. So I think also because we were age mates, so it didn't really affect me. But at the same time, because of my mom was very tough. Very tough. And she really didn't allow me to feel sorry for myself. She actually made me do things for myself. There was nothing like, I can't do this, or I tell someone else to do it for me. It always had to be first try. If you can't do it, then you can ask for help. So I think having a mom like her, if I had a soft mom, I don't think I would have been the person that I am right now.
I look at you and you're preaching a lot of positive, you know, vibes and positive energy and your positive messages. But how do you become this person right now?
Yeah, my mom. I'll say my mother, because my mom let us be. Like, there was nothing like, because you're physically challenged, you can't do this. Everyone had their duty. Like, I had to set the table. And you see, I'm holding my crutches, so you're trying to figure out, like, how do I carry a cup from one place to the other? My mom's like, figure it out. So you'll find me carrying a cup, I put it somewhere like here, and then I move there, I carry my cup, I put it somewhere else. And she used to say, it was going to take long for you. So maybe you just need to wake up earlier so that, you know, you're never late. Like, disability is not an excuse you get. So I think even going to public school, a regular school, really helped. I used to play with kids, with other kids, and again, it's figuring out what works for you, what doesn't work out for you. For example, playing hide and seek. For you, it's about speed. Even if you hide wherever you hide, it's about being faster than the other person. For me, it was tactical. Like, I'm going to hide here. I know this person is going to move from here to here, so I'm going to move here until I get to the place.
So it's mental also.
You have to be smart.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But do you feel like you rely on people, other people? Because most physically challenged people depend on other people for support and just merely, basically a lot of things. Do you ever feel like that?
Okay, so something I learned from when I was pretty young, number one is to do things for yourself. Once you try to do something for yourself, even you, I'm sure maybe you're not good at something.
Absolutely.
You get. But then how do you figure out you're not good at something? Is by trying it out. You get. So for me, it was even climbing stairs. I would climb stairs. Like, I figured out, if you see me going down the stairs, I normally go backwards because I feel safer that way. If you ask me how I figured that out, I can't tell you. It's just trying one thing after the other. You get. So rule number one with my mom, try it. If it doesn't work out, do not feel ashamed to ask for help. But that I learned in high school. Because, you know, in primary, I used to be picked, I'm dropped, you play around, you do whatever. But then in high school, I remember I'd applied for schools far away. Like, I was like, because, you know, the way you have your siblings always around you all the time. So I was like, nah, I want to go to a school far away from my siblings. Because we were always together, like, we were a very close-knit family. So I was like, no, I'm going to apply very far. Hey, results came. My mom, a school 10 minutes away.
Oh my God.
And then the headmistress was very nice. I was the first kid with disability. Yeah. And she was like, it's okay. You can be a day scholar, because I was just 10 minutes away. Mom was like, nope, you're going to become... I think that was like the hardest. I think that's when I realized. I didn't realize then what my mom was trying to do. But then I was like, I can't. I remember I used to cry every day, Nana. I used to cry. Day one. And then guys didn't know what to do with me. So I think the fact, because my mom was white, and then you see a kid with disability, and then she's crying. So I think guys just didn't know what to do with me. Yeah. I used to cry from food, like even the bucket. I'm like, what's a bucket for? You know, like, what do I do with a bucket, you know? But then I had to learn how to ask someone to help me fetch water, how, like when we were eating, the way you queue for your meals, I can't carry the plate. So I had to learn how to ask for help. If I fall, what happens? In high school is where I learned, like, I don't feel ashamed to ask for help, you know? But it doesn't mean I have to totally, completely rely on other human beings. Yeah. I think what makes us people with disability rely on other people, I feel, is the man-made barriers. Yeah. You put stairs in every building.
I was about to ask that. Like, when it comes to infrastructure and even how we make our buildings, I don't see many landlords trying to consider that probably it could be a physically challenged person and they could put a ramp. Yeah. So when you're looking even for a house, or when you have to access certain buildings and it's stairs, what do you do?
It's such a struggle. Like, it's like if I want to go somewhere, like if you told me let's meet somewhere, do you know I'll have to do my research. Like, I'll have a sleepless night trying to figure out, like, does it have a lift? How are the stairs? You know, and then you can imagine, at least for me, I have crutches. Yeah. You get. But imagine someone in a wheelchair, what happens to that person? Exactly. You get. And then people forget, it's not just people with disability. They're the elderly, they're the expectant mothers.
And sick people.
Sick people. Also you yourself, you know, people forget that disability can happen at any point.
Yes.
You get. So for me, it never makes sense a building throughout everything is stairs. Why don't you put a ramp on one side? Yeah. Even hotels, like if I'm supposed to sleep at a hotel, it's the hardest thing because how the bathroom is made, you get. Because in my own house, I have like a stool for the shower. But you see now in a hotel, they don't do that. Yeah. So I have to sit on the floor. So you see, at the end of it, you're like, you're not in the plan. Yeah. You're an afterthought. So, yeah.
And is there, if there's someone watching this and they're probably thinking, okay, I want to build a house. And okay, I need to get maybe probably a mortgage and like just create spaces for you guys. What is that one message you'd actually tell them, like before they plan to build this house? Well, of course, with the ramp, and of course, I'm sure you're in a community. Of course, you know each other, mko wengi, and they are going through these struggles as well. What is that one message you're preaching to them and also the people creating these houses?
Okay, this is what I say. If you're an architect, you know what you're doing. Like you've studied. Yeah. You're good at what you do. Maybe visit other countries or something, or just be able, like you can't tell me you're good at something and you can't figure it out. Yeah. You get, like, we should never be an afterthought at any point. And I think that's the problem. Everywhere you go, disability is always an afterthought. Even the ramp, even people who put ramps.
It's way later.
It is way later, so it's not even going to be functional. Yeah. Like every time sometimes I go into a building and the guard will be like, tumia hii, whatever. And I'm looking at it, either it's too slippery, or it's just too sharp for me to be able to maneuver myself. Yeah. And guys are like, it's okay, I'll hold you. I'm like, no, the purpose of a ramp is so that I can do it by myself. Yeah. You get? But it's just how people think at the end of it. You get? So as an architect, I feel like, but then you see also the owner. Yeah. How much are you willing to spend on
the budget? What's the budget?
Yeah. But I don't think it really costs that much. Like it's just, because you see, you're cutting out a certain market. It doesn't mean I want to go to a club. Me, I go clubbing.
I know you do.
Okay. I hope my relatives. So I go clubbing. You see queues. Me, I used to climb all the stairs to queues, and it has so many stairs.
Yeah.
But you see, it doesn't mean now, like, you'd have made it easier for me.
Yeah.
I'm paying
To come
to come to your place. You get, even concerts. When you go for a concert, like, I have to think, where is the concert? Where is the event? Me, if I hear Ngong Race Course, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You get,
Yes.
I already know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
You get, but the places I know I'll go and I'll be fine. You get, but then again, will I pay 10,000 for VIP because it's safer for me? You get, if something happens, I'll be in a lot of trouble.
Exactly.
Thank God nothing has ever happened. And at events, guys have been really kind, and I always end up going to the VIP section, which is boring. But then I go to the VIP, but it's just because guys are just nice.
Yes.
You get. But then you think about the toilets as well. All the toilets have
You're
stairs.
actually changing my perspectives on how I am viewing things right now. Because I had never thought about them. Even the bathroom.
Even the bathroom.
Nini, tiles zinaekwa and guys are like, kuna tiles zile baki sijui wapi tukuja uweke, and they're slippery even for us.
Even slippery.
You know?
Yeah.
But what would you say is like pet peeves when people look at you? What is so annoying?
That sound. Oh God, I hate that sound.
Like, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, that yeah. Or there's a look guys give you.
Yeah.
You will know that look. And then, I don't know. I remember. It's when people address other people instead of addressing me. Like if I go to a restaurant, guys will ask you, is this chair okay for her? Can I move this? Can I?
Yeah.
So what I normally do is like, I'll do the same thing. I'll address you to address them. I'm like, can you get it? Yes.
Yeah.
So at some point, I'll be like, you know, if you address me, we'll get this
Sorted quicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you enjoy going to the clubs. You love going to the concerts. You love being on IGTV and doing your thing, washing your hair.
I like
Rare
fashion.
Beauty. You love fashion.
Yeah.
And what else do you like doing?
I like interior design and stuff like that. Like if I go to a place, for me, it's never about the food. Like I'm like, oh my God, that's a beautiful seat. Oh, that's a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that is what I really enjoy.
So are there hobbies that you would like to do, but somehow you can't?
I wish I could. I think I'll have been an outdoor kind of person.
Yeah.
Every time I'm watching a movie and I see someone riding a bicycle, if you're seated next to me, I'm like, you need to get a bicycle. I don't know what fascinates me about bicycles,
Yeah.
but even hiking, I wish I could do such things. But then it's fine. As long as I can sit somewhere and there's a view for me, I swim. I enjoy swimming.
Yeah.
So, but do I feel bad about it? Not really.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things for me. I look at, can I do something about my disability? The answer is no. But then there are other things I can do.
You are being practical. Because you see, there are so many people that don't get the practical bit. They think, okay, maybe with prayers, and I'm not saying they don't work, they do, but they have put their, what is it called, so high expectations, and just unspoken or not, they think, okay, it'll happen too at some point. But you see, it's not the reality. I mean, do you think you'll walk again?
If I was given that chance, do I get money? No, the thing will be, if you're giving me, like, I don't know how many billions, and then you ask me, do you want to walk? I'll go for the billions.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Nana. People assume being physically challenged is the worst thing that can happen to you. Yeah. You'll even notice how parents talk to their kids. You'll tell your kid, stop doing that. You know, you could end up in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. You're telling a kid, if you see someone in a wheelchair, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You get.
That's true. Yeah.
You get. So for me, if I was told to change, I'm like, okay. There's nothing much that would change.
Like if I was to tell you, to be honest, if I was to tell you to go back to 1 year and your parent to want to give you the vaccine, would you take it? Like, would you change it?
Oh, hell no, for one reason.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of reasons. Okay. And I think one of the biggest thing, you know, people with disability don't pay tax.
Yes, I know.
Yes. I worked so hard for that salary, and then you come and slice half my... hell no. No, I'm not.
Another reason?
Another reason, I get favors. Like I said, I'll go to a concert, I'll go VIP.
Even though I walked in with you and we have regular tickets.
Yeah, I'll go to that VIP. I'm telling you, Nana, you see when you go for a wedding,
Yeah.
you see that queue for lunch.
Yeah.
I don't have to queue. I don't have to do those
So I
things.
love you.
You get. So there are a lot of, good things you get from your disability.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not trade it.
You wouldn't change it. Your community, how do you guys have annual meetings? Do you meet and talk and share stories?
Actually got to know other guys with disability. I had joined the Paralympic team.
Wow.
So we used to train at Nyayo. And I think that was the first time I really met other guys with disability. And this might come as a surprise, but I didn't know how to deal with them.
Are you serious?
The same way you didn't know how to handle me was the same way. Because I was so used to other people, so I didn't know how to handle them.
So how did you go forward?
I think they're the ones who made it easier for me.
you.
Yes. And that's the thing I learned. It's a two-way. You get?
Yes.
For me, I make it easy for someone without disability to be able to communicate with me. You get? So even people are like, oh, let me help you. I'm like, no, it's okay. If I need help, I'll let you know. You get? If you want to ask me a question, just ask me. I don't take it personal. You get? And I think that's the whole, when we sit as a community with other guys with disability, you'll hear it's like, oh, so-and-so asked me this. What's wrong with so-and-so? And I'm like, they don't know. They haven't been around someone with disability, so they don't know how to act.
Yeah.
You get? So after that is when now I became getting to know, the other challenges they have that maybe I don't know about. Because disability is diverse in its own way. And that's the other problem where guys are like, oh, we want to do something for the people with disability. And then you come up with an idea. But you see, it will work for me, but there's someone in a wheelchair, it might not work for them. So, yeah.
Again, let me just slide in something that I've always been thinking about, especially, it's a thought that has crossed me enough times. And since you're here and I know I can talk to you, and of course our audience is watching, how is the dating scene looking like?
God
like,
damn. Let me tell you, first it starts with you.
Yeah.
You have to be very confident. You have to be very realistic. And I think because of my mom, it was very easy. My mom allowed us to date when we were pretty young. But then there were house rules as well. You have to be in a public place, or if you're in the house, my mom was like, if you have a boyfriend, just let me know. You get? My mom had the sex conversation when I was in class 4.
Whoa.
You know the way your mom is talking to you, you're looking all over the place.
Blushing.
She was like, mommy, no. She's like, no. You get? And she did that talk because we ended up getting house boys, because we used to have house girls. So she's like, no, we're going to start having house boys. And she had to have that conversation. And my mom, this is what my mom used to do. Every day she'll pick us from school, and then we're in the car, so she'll be like, how was your day? Each one of us, you had to be asked the same questions. How was your day? What did you eat? We're in the same school. What did you eat? What did you do? Were you beaten in school? My mom never allowed us to be beaten. We used to be grounded. And also, if you make a mistake, you're not beaten, so you get grounded and you have to write a letter.
An apology letter.
An apology letter of what you did, why you did it, why you want to do it, and a file.
Wow.
So if you redo it, you'll be like, you said, yeah, you didn't do it. You'll never do it again. So that's how she'll be like, what did you do today? What did you,
Yeah.
And then when there's something serious now that she wants to have a conversation, or something serious has happened, she'll tell maybe either my brother or sister, or if it's just one of us, she'll be like, Saud, I need to talk to you. So once we get home, I'll see you in my room. The rest go play outside far, far, far away. Yeah. So that's now how the conversation now with my sister. But then this was a conversation also my brother was also involved in. There was no separation when it came to us. There was nothing like, oh, girls do this, boys do this. There was nothing like that. So that's when now my mom said, we are going to get house boys, and there are going to be rules to be followed. And when you're a kid, you don't see the importance of it. And I was actually thinking about it when you're telling your story.
Yeah.
And so some of the rules were, because each one of us had, you had your own room, so privacy was very important. My mom couldn't just enter my room the way she wanted.
She had to knock.
She had to knock. And you know the way you used to posters at your door, knock, private,
Yeah,
I don't
do
know
not
what,
disturb.
do not disturb, you know, knock, wait for an answer.
Yeah.
So that's how it used to happen. So my mom was like, whenever the door is knocked, always ask who is it. If you hear it's the houseboy, you get up. If you're on your bed, if you're on your study table, whatever it is, get up, walk out. Like open the door and walk out fast before he walks in.
Okay.
You get? Rarely were we ever left at home. But then if it rained heavily or something like that, then because of the floor being slippery or whatever, my mom will be like, you stay at home.
Yeah.
But then again, I couldn't sit in the house. So I'll sit at the veranda. Then she'll call my neighbor and it's like, Osaude is at home, please keep a watch over her.
Yeah.
In case I had to stay at home, I had to play outside, like near the gate. Like there was no, at any point we were ever allowed to play at the back.
Oh, wow.
Because that's where the I don't want to say servants' quarter,
Yeah.
but that's where their housing was.
Yeah.
So we were never allowed to go to play at the back. But you see, when you're a kid, you don't
understand.
You don't understand this. Later is when now it hits you like, oh, my mom was actually trying to protect you. Yes. So that's when she had that conversation. And I remember, if there's something I always remember, especially when it comes to, like you said, the dating scene, my mom said, just because a man calls you beautiful does not mean he has good intentions.
Yeah.
Because there's this notion of girls, like the minute a guy tells you, oh, you're beautiful, they light up immediately. It's like, oh my God, my world has changed.
Yeah.
You get? So for me, from a young age, we were always being told, you're beautiful, you're this, you're this. But then my mom will always say, please remember, you at the end of it, you're physically challenged, and it's very easy to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And then there's that thing of, because I'm physically challenged, any guy who hits on you, you're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know the next time someone is going to hit on me. You get? So for me, I've always known that.
So are you open to dating, like being in an interabled
Yeah,
relationship
I
where
date.
you have?
I have dated.
You have before.
I am dating. I do date.
Yes.
But I'm very careful. For me, the first rule number one, friendship. If we can't be friends, let it be. It can't be.
Have you ever dated someone who was like abled?
Yeah, I've never dated anyone with disability.
You've never?
Actually,
Would you?
I think I would, but I don't know. That's the thing. I've never done it.
Is it because you
Okay, in my mind, I'm like, okay. I think I know my struggles.
Okay.
So I'm like, how will we be able to help each other out? I think it's I don't know. I've never done it. But then I feel like dating is you give, you take.
Yeah.
It's a give and take thingy. So I don't know. Maybe also because I've been around more of people without disability than disability. So yeah.
Okay, but when you guys are dating, and have you ever been in like a serious relationship where they had to meet your parents and you guys were actually almost there?
Hey, me marriage. let me.
So you're not looking at marriage?
For me, marriage and kids haven't been something I need to.
Okay.
If it happens, happens. But it's not. It's not something that's.
It's not top on your priority list.
I would love a partner.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm slightly older, but marriage, kids, no, not really.
So what if it gets to a serious point? Do you tell them when you meet them that, listen, I just want a partnership where we don't have to get married?
Straight up. Let me tell you, Nana, these days there are too many games that are being played. You get? If I don't want kids, I don't want kids. Why would I be with a guy who wants kids?
Yeah.
Why the unnecessary pressure? You get? If you may I say, this is who I am, I will never change. It's not that I'll ever walk at any point. And I'm like, every day you're going to learn something about me. If you're dating me, we go into the public eye, everyone will be staring at you.
Yeah.
If I fall, people will come at you. It's like, mbona ulimfanya anguke? Why did she fall? Why did you? Attention shifts from you. Attention is on Sauda.
Yeah.
Are you a person who can take that?
Yeah.
You get? So there's a lot that person has to understand. So for me, that's why I go for friendship first.
Yeah.
Me, I don't cook, Nana. I don't like cooking.
So what do you do?
So you see, even when I'm dating, like
Yeah.
I'm going on that date, me, I'll tell a guy, me, by the way, me, I don't like cooking. You get?
Yeah.
It's not something that, yeah, I can make for you breakfast or whatever, but it's not something I like doing. So I don't put that expectation on you. So if cooking is important,
I'm not the one for you. Yeah.
please don't stress me. You get? So for me, those are things. I just say it.
Yeah.
There's no...
Coming from Wajir, and guys there are very big on, of course, having very big families, and they have, you know, polygamous marriages, and they are looking at you, wamekusikia ukisema, hey, mimi sitaki bwana, sitaki watoto. What do you tell them? Because most people, conventionally and traditionally, we've been made to believe that kids make us complete, and you have to be in a marriage. Even when you're a small child, you're raised knowing, check, utaolewa na nani? You see, you're asked these questions because they're preparing you for marriage way before. But sometimes I don't know if they prepare the men as well. But what can you tell those people that are watching you and saying, guy?
Okay, I think because my adopted mom was never married and never had kids of her own. So I don't know if that's the reason. But then also I used to see how she was the one who used to make the decisions. I remember growing up when we'll tell our friends like, oh, tomorrow we're going swimming. So you go ask your parents. Yeah. Then they're like, okay, fine. Then a day later, they're like, oh, so I asked my mom, so I'm waiting now for my dad. I'm like, meaning?
Si mama shakubali.
Yeah, I'm like, si mama said it's okay. They're like, no, because mom is the easier one, and I'm waiting for dad. Yeah. So I used to find it's like, hey, this decision making is, you know, so hard. Like, so for me, it's just that thing. Like, I also make decisions for myself. So even when you're in a relationship and I'm thinking kids, I'm like, if I'm going to have kids, that's for the rest of my life. There's nothing like, today I'm tired, Nana. There's nothing like, I'm tired of this job. Let me just look for another job. You know, you sit at home. There's nothing like that. And I think people need to realize when it comes to kids, it's a choice. It's not something that you need to do. Because a lot of people tell me, it's like, Sukwe na mtoto, why can't you have a child who will take care of you when you're older? I'm like, am I bringing a child to this world to take care of me when I'm older?
You feel like it's a selfish decision?
Yeah, it's such a selfish decision. I'm like, getting the kid is not the problem. Number one, I don't even know if I can have that kid.
Yeah.
You get? So even when people put pressure on a woman, like, why are you not getting a child? Yeah. You get? How do you know I'll be able to get that child? And then are you going to help me raise that child?
No.
Are you going to help me with the finances? The mental state? Then there you go.
I have my answers. Okay. But you love doing solo traveling. How does that work? Like, kuna mse anaweza taka sahi kujua, how can I solo travel and I'm disabled? Like, in a car, almost like something that is far-fetched. What are the tricks?
You have to do your research. As a person with disability, research, everything is about research. Like I said earlier, like anywhere you're going, you have to do that research. You get? And I think also being open to be able to ask for what you need and what you don't need. Like for me, I'll call a hotel. I'm like, is it disability friendly? Do you have this? Do you have that? You get? Like if you don't ask those questions, no one is going to answer them. Yeah. You get? Yeah. Because sometimes you just go blindly. And then you get there, you get so frustrated and all this. I remember I won't name which hotel it is. It's in Mombasa. Yeah. And I asked, is there a disability-friendly bathroom? They're like, yes. I'm like, awesome. Yeah. So they give me that bathroom, that room, and then there's no view. Oh, wow. Like, it's such a boring place. I'm like, so I have to go all the way to the reception and ask them, like, okay, wait. Is there any room that's disability-friendly that's facing the beach? Like, is there any? They're like, no, all of them are on the other side. And it's not the first hotel that I've been to. Yeah. So now I'm sitting there trying to figure out, so is it disability friendly that I'll go for, or is it the view? You know?
Oh. How did that make you feel? Did you talk to the management?
Yes, again, that means, like, you'll note, like, I kept telling them, like, I'm like, you know, you're trying to tell me that people with disability don't know how to have fun. They don't want to have fun. Like, we're just supposed to be hidden somewhere boring. I'm like, even think about it. I'm like, by the time I come from this room, go to the beach, it's such a distance. You get? Yeah. So I'll just keep thinking about how do I get back to my room. Yeah. They're like, no, we just decided to give you I'm like, let's do this. Just give me another room near the beach. It's like, what about the bathroom? I'm like,
There's nothing much you can do.
I'm like, I'll sit on that floor. It's fine. You get.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I had to learn. It's like, you need to know what you'll compromise, what you want to compromise. Because at the end of it, are you going to sit in the house, Nana?
Yeah, no.
Because things are not working out. And at the end of it, for me, I've learned how to talk to the management. It's like, you should think about us as well. You get.
Yeah.
Like, if I can do it, then someone else with disability will come here and do it as well.
That's true.
You get. Yeah. So I feel like once you talk, maybe it will change someone's perception. Yeah. At the same time, it's how you say it.
That's true. Yeah. Let's talk about Rare Beauty. Yes. How did you start, and why did you decide to go that direction? It's got, of course, passion, but yeah.
Rare Beauty started, we had gone for like a UN women's kind of meeting or something, and I met, it was all about disability, you know, organizations that work with people with disability. So one lady who's not even, she's part of my co-founder, she's called Mary. So she approached me, you know, she's like, we need to do something. And she's like, you seem to really like fashion, you like dressing up and stuff like that. So we just sat down and brainstormed, you know. And I think for me, the greatest problem has been not seeing people with disability in the limelight. You get. Growing up, I wanted to be, number one, I wanted to be a doctor, but that was because of a boy, so it had nothing to do with...
A boy did what?
I had a crush on a boy who was going to study medicine.
Oh, okay.
So everyone's like, I'm going to be a doctor so that we can get married.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Till I got to Form 1, nikakutana kina Bunsen Bana. I was like,
Okay,
yo, si lazima he love me for who I am. You know. So now I started really, like, I never thought much about it.
Yeah.
And then my headmistress kept saying, you should be on TV. She kept insisting on that. She's like, I can't wait for the day I'll be watching you reading the news.
Yeah.
So I realized actually in class, I'm the one who wants to read out loud. You know, I was in debate. I was very active in such things. So when I went to uni, I decided to study mass communication.
Yeah.
So, but then there I actually wanted radio. I felt like with radio, I have more control of what I say. Yeah. Plus that mystery. There's like a mystery.
Yeah, that comes with radio.
Yeah, you just hear a voice and there's like, how does this person look like and stuff like that. So I really like that mystery part. But then you notice, I think why I never pushed to go towards that, maybe I didn't really push hard enough. Or sometimes I look like I didn't have anyone to look up to. You get? Yeah. You know, I look at the news, I'm like, I could easily sit at the back, I mean on a seat and read
just
that.
read out. Yeah.
And read out, you get. And I never saw, like even if I look at an advertisement, I don't see people with disability. If I look at a musical video, wherever I go, like I don't see people with disability.
You're actually changing my thought process, my God. Yeah, that's true.
So that's where the whole thing came from. So I remember okay, let me just say where I work clearly because it will come out.
Yeah.
So at Safaricom, so I approached the marketing manager and I was like, I don't see people with disability.
Yes.
You get? So I ended up being in one of the adverts. But then I was like, it's not me. I don't want to be the one to be in that advert.
Want to see other people.
I want to see other people. She's like, no, it's you want. So I ended up being in that advert. And it really pushed me now like to really want to see guys with disability. And I don't want adverts where it's pity party.
No.
No. I want to see an advert. Like, I mean, we can do whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You get.
Clearly, you at work.
You get. Kwani mimi sijipake mafuta.
Unajipaka
I will
kabisa.
use that Nivea. You get. Yeah. So for me, that's how the whole Rare Beauty and my co-partner came up with the whole process. Yes.
So far.
Like runways, like you can't tell me there's no person with disability who can be a model.
Yeah.
You get. So we came up with it. We were supposed to have something in 2019. Then Rona happened. Yeah, so now we are trying to weigh things out.
Miss Rona, but of course your teacher is watching you now. Well, you're not reading news, but you're reading out gems. You guy, my guy. You are that person. Neni, I'm so happy I had this conversation with you. But before we end the show, I just want you to talk to someone that probably has had an accident and the situation has happened, but they don't know how to come around it. Or even the people around, because sometimes I may see you, but I don't know how to deal with you. Because you see, I don't want to look at you and look like I'm pitying you again. So just talk to those people.
So
And that is your camera, because you're talking to them.
Okay, one, I'll talk maybe to parents who have kids with disability. Don't hide your child,
Yes.
you know. Even the way you bring up your own child, I became who I am because of how I was brought up. Let the child be. Let him figure it out. Let that child figure out what they can do, what they can't do, right? And then people who come across us, if you feel you need to ask, please ask. You know, if you see me struggling, don't always, okay, there's this perception of someone sees me doing something, you assume that I'm struggling. I'm not really struggling. It's just that for me, it's the easiest way to do a certain thing, okay? But at the same time, if you really want to help, just help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're a person with disability, I think you just need to accept yourself. None if you don't accept yourself. It is, you have to, like no one else can help you. You have to accept. I'll finish with this. This is how I handle situations. And doesn't mean just because you have a disability. I always ask myself, as Sauda, how can I deal with this situation?
Yes.
Okay? And the answers, you have two answers. It's either you can or you can't. Okay? Yes. So if you can, you'll be like, what do I need to do? If you can't, the next thing is, who can I go to? Please note, it doesn't have to be your best friend.
That's true.
You get. There's someone who will be able to help you. Who do I need to talk to assist me with 1, 2, 3 things? Second, I'll go with, if I say like I can't, if I go to that person, I'm like, this person can assist me. You go to that person. The other thing is like, if there's nothing that I can do and this other person can do, nothing can be done.
Yeah.
You get. And that's when, for me, like, if I realize like, okay, there's nothing I personally can do, there's no one I can really talk to assist me with this, maybe I'll give myself like 3-4 days to wallow in my sorrows. Yeah. You get, like, do whatever you have to do, but you have to move on. You get. So even when you have your disability, don't feel sorry for yourself, because the world will move.
Regardless.
Regardless. You will sit there and the world will move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming and gracing set. Guys, umesikia, disability is definitely not inability, and Sauda has spoken. I don't have to add more. I hope you got inspired, and if you are living through a disability right now, just know you have only 2 days, according to Saida, even 4, to just wallow in your pain, but you have to move on regardless. Well, thank you so much for watching this, and if you have not subscribed, let me remind you, please subscribe. Niko na homa, that's why naongea hivi leo, lakini si lazima tufanye job. We move on regardless. If you have any products that resonates with what we do, please comment below. We will definitely reach out to you, and of course it has to be of very, very good quality. Kaka Empire Studios, thank you so much for this beautiful set, and until next time, guys, it's love from Sauda and I. Goodbye.